Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a spotlight on Panzer Tactics HD. This is a HD remake of an old Nintendo DS game from 2007, and it feels really weird to say that that's old. What am I, ancient? Anyway, this is a full remake of that game. This is going to be released on PC via Steam and on the Apple iPad. It's probably not going to be available on iPhones just because of the nature of the game. It probably requires the bigger screen, and I have not heard anything about it coming out to Android. Price points are going to be $9 on iPad and $30 on PC. For a reference point, when it came out on the Nintendo DS, it was $25. So, use your judgment. First thing you might notice is there's a giant tank here, and it's named Panzer, which just tells me right off the bat this should be a tank game. It's not really a tank game, it's more of a World War II tactical combat game. So, you have tanks. And for the most part, your majority tanks and mortars, but not always tanks. You've got troopers and you've got planes as well, which, let's be honest, you need that kind of mix. Having just tanks is boring. Anyway, you might notice here that there is no options menu. There's space for it, lots and lots of space for an options menu, but no options menu. You've got all sorts of other menus. You've got credits. You've got statistics, you've got training, which, let's be honest, there's a lot of training. Let's hop into the training scenarios here, and there's a lot of them. Quite a few training, and they go through. They're pretty concise, albeit at times, for me anyway, quite boring. I get kind of bored with all the chatter, but yeah, that's me. They are pretty concise. They explain what's going on. And you've got this campaign mode. So you've got the Axis, which is the Germans, the Soviets, which are the Soviets, go figure, and Allies, which is, as far as I've seen, denoted with the US flag, but it's the Allied nations. So it would be US, Canada, I believe Europe, or Britain, a bunch of other countries that were all part of the Allied nations. So you can play as any of those throughout the campaigns, which is quite nice. You've got basically 3 campaigns here. It is single player. I would love for something like this, for this to be multiplayer. And I think that the way it is would be pretty good as a multiplayer. It wouldn't be too difficult, but that's not my call. So, and there's plenty of, tactical games that are multiplayer. So let's head back and we'll go into the scenarios. I'm just going to do the first scenario because, let's be honest, it's the only one that's unlocked, and the rest of them are far too difficult for me. I'll be honest, I suck. I've played this scenario multiple times, but the other scenarios I just cannot beat. And that's because I am not a tactician. So let's hop in, and we'll just do this. I'm doing this just to skip the beginning garbledy-gook about all the other crap, like the background and history and junk that honestly I don't care about. If I wanted to care about it, I'd read a history book. So let's hop in here. So here we are. We still have to go through this mission briefing, but we can just quit. And here we are, mission overview. We have 11 days to get 3 stars. And the weather, changeable, cloudy. Changeable? All right. Basically, the weather can change, and that affects what you can do. If you have a plane, your plane cannot bomb if it's, rainy, because it doesn't have the visibility. So we'll just click OK to that. That window will pop up every single turn. Every time you end turn, the enemy turn will go, and that'll pop up. So here we are. We are in enemy territory. These are, what are these, the Russians? Because we're German. I think we're up against Russians. Maybe I should have looked at that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Enemy, ally. Us, them. So The whole point of this is we need to capture this city right here. This is Warsaw. Capital of Poland. This is Poland. I know flags. Anyway. And optionally, I can capture all of these other cities. Now, capturing the other cities gives me more fame, which is the number in the upper right corner. This fame allows me to purchase troops. So what I can do is go into my headquarters here, and I can go to recruitment. This allows me to purchase different troops. So you've got advantage and disadvantage, blue and red. Pretty simple. So this light infantry, it has 52 fuel. 7 ammo, and can view 2 in the 2 tiles. That's it. Can view 2 tiles. It is... it can hit a tank. It's not particularly strong against a tank, but it can hit a tank. And it's much better against troopers, but not particularly good. And then it's very reasonably weak against tanks and reasonably weak against planes. Doesn't really say whether it's weak against troopers, but I'm going to assume if it doesn't say it, it's not. And you can sort it by, what you've got, troopers, planes, various things. But let's go with all. And I usually just pop out a light infantry because not a tactician. Let's bring out a Panzer III. Panzer III is pretty good against tanks and pretty good against troops. And pretty weak against tanks and fairly weak against planes. So let's hop this out, recruit in place, and let's pop you right there. So as you can see, it's grayed out, but this is also one of my troops. The fancy thing with these guys is they stay with me forever. The guys that I purchase and place are mine forever. They will carry on with you throughout the entire campaign, and they level up. Whereas the rest of these guys are static. So these guys can die all they want. These guys can get slaughtered, doesn't count. This guy gets slaughtered, and it counts against you. And if you keep it alive and go through combat with it and just keep it alive, keep it fighting, it will gain levels and become stronger. And this will allow you to plow through things easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after this city. So what I'm going to do here is... There we go. This guy here. This is my bomber. So I'm going to bring him right over top of this city. And I can't really do anything because technically I can't see what's in the city. So we hit that, and I still can't see what's in the city because there's a goddamn plane in my way. So you hit change view, and you see the little plane in the right-hand corner of the tile. That means there's a plane there. Surprise. But there's also this trooper. So this trooper is the only thing keeping me out of this city. Okay. Simple enough. Let's bring a tank down and blow his face off. Now, he is bunkered in the city, so that's not going to kill him, but it's going to hurt him. And he did pretty good damage to my tank. And what else can I move down there? Can't really move anything else. So let's move you here. And you here. Now, one thing I haven't noticed is they don't tend to want to come in and take over my city. And that could just be dumb luck. Or it could be that it's programmed that way in this particular scenario. Like I said, I've never gotten past the second scenario. What I'm doing here is with these mortars, as you can see, I can only move one tile. And these red tiles here, the ones with the red tank, are ones that I can attack. So I can actually hit anything, or shoot at anything that's on these tiles. So it's pretty good range, but it only moves one. When I pack it into a truck, my range increases greatly. So we'll bring it here. But when the movement's done, I cannot attack. So I'm pretty much screwed on that front. Let's move this plane over here. This plane is good against other planes, and I happen to know that there's some other planes coming in from this direction. They're probably right here-ish. And this troop, we're actually gonna leave this guy there. Because, well, we can. And move him there. And move this guy here. Because why not? So we've moved everything that we can. And now we just end turn. There's nothing more we can do. And now the enemy gets its turn. And did he move out from under there? Well, that was pretty dumb. Because now I can capture the city very, very easily by doing that. Take my round. And city captured. That's all that's needed to capture the city, is you need to have a troop here, or a land unit of some fashion. Planes don't count. And that's what I did. Doesn't matter if there's anybody else in the city. You just need this section, the flag. So let's switch this, and we're going to do something with the plane. And attack. Bomb his ass. This is going to be like the only guy I'm going to kill. Let's be honest here. And let's take a mortar to him. So this guy's not going to last very long. And let's move him here. And this should be the end of him. We're going to see something kind of funny. He explodes. No matter what you destroy, there's always that explosion. It doesn't matter how you destroy him. There's always that explosion. Infantry, planes, tanks, everything. It's just boom. And you've also seen that there's really no animation. It just moves. It angles it, you know, but it doesn't move. Let's go here and attack the plane. So these guys are good against planes. So that's the basics of the game. That's basically what you do. Anybody who's familiar with tactical games understands how this works. If you're not familiar with tactical games, you probably understand how this works. You know, you got to get your guys into the right position and attack the correct unit. Another thing that this has is I don't really have anything that I got to turn on that's damaged. But if we click on here, we've got end turn, so you can end the turn for a specific unit if you don't want to move it. So let's use this guy here. So I can pack him into a truck, or I can end his turn. I'm going to end his turn because I want him to stay there. And if we look at this guy, we have supplies and reinforcements. What these are is you can use your fame and you can purchase supplies, so you can buy more ammo. So if you look down here, you've got, this guy has 12 out of 12 because he hasn't shot a single thing. If I look here, this guy's got 7 out of 8. So he could use 1 bullet. Not really any use to get supplies for 1 bullet. But if you run out of ammo, this would be something you would do. So you would get new supplies. It also works for fuel. That guy's got 50. This guy here has got 38. So I could refuel him. If I got supplies, I would get both ammo and fuel, and he would be back to normal. With somebody like this guy who's damaged, and it won't let me bring it up, but that would be reinforcements. If you hit reinforcements, that will heal your troop and give them full health. So if you got someone who's, like, for this guy here who's 6, it's probably not worth it unless you know that there's something that potentially could happen in the next round that'll take him out. I generally don't bother because, well, I don't think of it. let's be honest here. I don't think of it. Let's move you up here because why not? But it's got some really nice elements to it. It really does. Let's take a look at the options. What options there are. There really aren't any. There's nothing to speak of. And to be honest, having these is pretty good. I wish the options were on the main screen where they should be in every game, and there's absolutely no justifiable reason why they shouldn't be. But it's got a fair decent option for a 2D based game. Except it's missing two vital things. Resolution and full screen window. Not a full screen window, but like full screen / window mode. You know, being able to switch between those two is, in my opinion, an important thing. There's a game like this, I would play casually. You know, I suck at it, as I've said. I would play it casually. For something like that, I would want it in a window so I can switch back and forth to doing something else. I'll usually do it while watching YouTube. But that's a minor thing. The major thing for me on this is it should be on the main window, on the main menu. To me, that's a horrible thing. This is available on iPad and Steam. Link will be in the description to the Steam one. Like I said, $30 for the Steam, $9 for iPad. Personally, I would recommend iPad for this. It just seems more like it would be an iPad game. It allows you to just kind of play it casually, do your thing. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.